Okay, so last session you found yourselves faced with a pretty daunting situation. You'd managed to fight your way through the kobolds of the Skullkicker gang, and you found yourselves before some form of ritual. There was a massive dragon towards the back of this room, a sort of massive winged beast, sort of greenish black scales were falling away from its frame, and its eye sockets were empty and soulless, and it seemed to be consuming shadow from a gem, which seemed to be consuming the souls of these 4 young children that were placed in a sort of square around a pentagram. And there seemed to be a ritual being conducted by 2 kobolds and 1 larger half-dragon. Who you guys did manage to sort of figure out was potentially the son of, what's his name? Rarecross, the Kobold sorcerer you met earlier in dungeon, and Saranox. And after Oromon fell into a pit and found himself fighting against the gibbering Mither for the majority of the combat, you guys essentially entered combat with Iron Tooth, who was the half-dragon, and his 2 kobold sorcerer companions. There were a large group of kobolds gathered around the room as well, which seemed to be sort of mesmerizing in some form of trance, and they sort of panicked and ran, causing some form of trap to go off against the pedestal, causing a fireball to take out a large volume of those. Dodge was trying to sort of sneak his way up some stairs and unleash a couple of arrows before sneaking back. And I believe, Kanaki, you were one of the main ones focusing on trying to attack the gem.
I was.
You did manage to sort of crack it and started to show damage, at which point Iron Tooth commanded towards one of his kobold sorcerers, and you saw as one of them went to touch it, the gem disappeared.
Son of a bitch.
Completely vanished, as far as you guys were aware. Combat continued to ensue, Shay taking on a panther form and trying to sort of knock Iron Tooth off from a ledge, him trying to jump back up, and Uramon pulling him down, and you guys eventually came out on top. It got a bit rough a couple of times. I believe Tara definitely went down. Did you go down as well, Kanaka? I'm not sure.
Yes, I did. I
Yep.
went down once.
Yeah, a couple of you definitely went down. Definitely missing Ash for that fight. However, you guys did manage to prevail, and with that, well, actually, when the gem disappeared, you actually saw that this colossal sort of skeletal dragon figure actually just collapsed to the ground. After the fight, Tara obviously went to try and grab the skull, but it was much too big to use as any form of headwear.
Classic Tara.
You did come across, if I'm correct, a letter on Iron Tooth's possession. A letter from Caloral. Bear with me a second, I will show that to you again.
We did.
So many letters here.
Did I
might
give
have
that
been
or
on
not?
Rearcross.
I found that they are coming.
They are coming prepared. That was the last letter we found, yeah.
That was the last letter we found.
Oh, Iron Tooth definitely had a letter on it. Okay, you should have got this.
Oh boy!
Essentially, it's a letter to Iron Tooth from Caloral, which mentions that my spy in Winterhaven suggests we keep an eye out for visitors to the area. It probably does not matter. In a few more days, I'll completely open the rift. Then Winterhaven's people will serve as food for those Lord Orcus sends to do my bidding.
This motherfucker!
Why didn't we get this letter last time?
We need to get back to Winterhaven!
I didn't show you that last time.
No! This was like a whole, like a bigger, like, I don't know, something.
You did
Sweet
also take
fucking
his
Jesus.
Maul of Warning.
Yeah, I did.
You have that within your possession.
I'm attuned to that right now.
Oh, we were going to give that to Uramon.
Let's get it! What did I get?
Oh,
Nice!
You're
Nice!
not attuned yet because
We haven't
Why?
spent a short
I
rest.
know. I know. Damn.
yeah. So one thing, let me know if you're going to attune to that because it does give you advantage for initiative rolls. So
Ooh. Okie dokie.
you just need it in your possession to have that. So
That
that's
looks
pretty,
so weird.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then you guys eventually decided to move on a little bit. Kanaka, you were very sort of wary and being very cautious looking out, and did manage to find a secret door off the room adjacent to the ritual room.
Shay managed to find it. I
Oh,
got an
did she?
actual one in that room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
I can't remember.
someone found it.
Yeah.
You were definitely being cautious anyway. And it seemed that it was this very sort of dark corridor that seemed to lead down into UN Dodge sort of went down and looked around, and seemed to lead into a larger, very sort of dark room, which seemed to have six smaller rooms leading off from it. But you guys decided to not explore that much further.
Not yet.
Dodge,
Not yet.
Dodge, rush in to sort of get out of the dungeon at this point, and that's where we left you guys. But we also touched on Ash a little bit.
Oh.
Not last week, last month, and Ash found himself intruding upon a conversation between Sister Lenora and Lord Pedrak. And during this conversation, Lord Pedrak basically mentioned that a woman called Old Sarah had gone missing. He'd also had Ron Kelfman out around the farmsteads, and he'd indicated that 20 villagers had apparently gone missing as well. And as such, he has asked Ash to look into whether he can find out what's going on, because he's aware that as someone that he looks on his residents in the best light, so he may not be able to judge them as well as Ash may be able to do. Maybe Ash may be able to uncover something that he couldn't. So Ashby,
Yes.
what exactly have you been up to?
Well, let's see. Last time, I believe that we talked about the various things that I was crafting in between my prayers and such. But after speaking with Lord Padraig, I believe I wanted to try to find the town blacksmith and the merchant, if those things were at all possible.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely do that. Who would you like to go and see first?
Blacksmith, always the blacksmith. That's over by where Molly is, right? I mean,
This is the blacksmith. No one has yet discussed with him yet. It's just next to the inn, it is.
Huh.
Okay. So you essentially make your way from the Temple of Chanter, make your way past the sort of main town area, which at the moment there's no sort of market or anything today, so everything's very sort of quiet. You can see towards one side of the town square, one of the sort of guards is drilling what looks to be normal residents in the way of combat. You can see some of them are learning how to use the short bow, and the others are learning how to sort of defend themselves and attack with short swords. Some sort of militar of some kind, by the looks of it. And as soon as you sort of step into the square, you can see towards the south entrance, just by the end there is a plume of sort of smoke rising from what you can only assume to be some form of blacksmith. Very sort of weird. It seems to have a sort of thatch roof, but it does seem to have a very sort of large chimney coming out of it as well.
well, I will pop my head in and see if I can get his attention before I enter.
Okay. Okay, and as you sort of step in, you can see that there is this very sort of gruff-looking dwarven figure. It has this sort of very luscious sort of golden beard into two sort of braids. You can see where the braids are sort of tied together. There's sort of a metal clasp holding his sort of hair back, and his the top of his hair is pulled back into a very sort of tight ponytail. You can see that his face is sort of covered in soot, and his brow is covered in sweat. And as you sort of step in, you hear the clank of his hammer just bashing down as he's busy away, sort of working at his sort of blacksmithing. It's completely sort of imperious to you entering the blacksmith itself.
Do I see anything on the wall or anything that would signify the quality of his work?
You can make a investigation check with advantage. Actually, make a blacksmith check. Do you have proficiency in investigation?
I do not.
Okay, just make a normal blacksmithing check for me.
you want it with intelligence or?
Yeah, intelligence is about the best.
14.
Okay, yeah,
Unless
cool.
I had advantage, and then yeah.
It looks pretty pretty sturdy stuff. Nothing extraordinary, but nothing for dwarven standards anyway. It's very much up to dwarven standards, which means it's certainly better than what you'd expect from the human standard. But for dwarven standard, it's pretty standard.
Is it mostly militia stuff, or is it farm goods, or is it a combination of both?
Yeah, there's a whole sort of range of stuff. You can see that there's certain amounts of sort of horseshoes and brackets for wagons and stuff like that that can be used for farmsteads. But then you can also see that there is some weaponry that is being made as well.
Okay, then I will cast light on my hammer to try to just make it glow a little bit, give it a bit of a signal for him to look up, because it's hard to hear while you're smithing, and I'll just try to get his attention. Sir?
Ah, what's that? That's a bright light you got there, lad. If you don't mind pitting that out.
Yes, sorry. I cancel spell. I just find it's easier for smiths are, in my experience, more attuned to sight.
You must
and
be the blacksmith that came in with the party recently. I heard there was a blacksmith with them.
Yes. That would be me. I've spent a lot of time in the farmlands lately, and with Sister Lenora, repairing equipment and things like that.
I have heard, lad. Sister Lenora speaks highly of you. Well, what is it that fair coal striker can do for you?
I like to see the type of work that someone does. I feel like it shows a reflection of who the person is, and the pride that they take in not only who they are but where they are. And I can tell that you are definitely a diligent and dedicated smith for the area.
That's some very kind words. What's your flattery for?
Well, halflings take 100 words to say what really only takes 10, but I've been here for a while, and I'm just finally getting around to meet people, and considering my expertise in the area, though certainly not as skilled as yours, I thought I would, introduce myself and get acquainted, and just make myself available should you need anything. A spare hammer, or an extra pair of arms, or whatever the case may be.
When you make the comment about the halfling, you can see he lets out this really rumbling, bassy laugh. But when you mention your offer, he gets quite serious. Like, have you got a license to practice, lad, in the land of Cormia?
I actually have my guild membership with me always. That's why I'm allowed to even carry this hammer in town in the first place.
I understand why you're allowed to carry the hammer, lad, but unless you've got a Cormia signed license, you cannot touch weapons. You can help me with some of the farm stuff if you fancy it, but you cannot do anything with weapons.
I'm not interested in weapons in particular. I'm happy to help where I can, though you have given me new information that I wasn't aware of. What type of license is it for required for a gilded blacksmith to work on a weapon?
The same license that's required by anyone in Cormia. License to create weapons.
That's what it's called? It's called the license to create weapons?
Well, I'm no politician. I'm merely a blacksmith.
I see. Well,
I don't know the technical details of everything.
I just, it's part of your trade. I figured you would. It's irrelevant. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be, cheeky.
There's no need to be sorry, lad. My costs are covered by the Red Dragon Merchant Company, so I don't pay much attention to all of those fancy-nancy details, and I focus on my work.
I see. Well, if you need any assistance with farm equipment, I'd be more than happy to help.
Well, I'm always happy to have a hand around our forge with our farm equipment. You're more than welcome to make yourself comfortable.
I appreciate it. And I'll find a forge and, work for a couple of hours in what will ultimately be a failed attempt to build camaraderie.
He will talk to you throughout that hour. Is there anything in particular that you want to ask him? He is relatively once you sort of get into your work and he sees how sort of diligent you are with your work.
Initially just small talk, finding out about the people in town and other people that I should perhaps meet and anyone that I should avoid and the like.
I think if you ask him who you should avoid, he'll go, you're bellowing in that blasted grand shop of his. He rocked up out of the blue one day with a wagon full of junk a few years ago, and has since managed to build a shop that seems constantly to require more merchandise and expensive items to buy, having few customers.
You don't say. It does seem rather odd.
Well, he was a frequent customer of mine to begin with. He would come in almost every day, purchasing metal goods such as shovels, spades, and wheelbarrows. It must have turned a profit somehow. Perhaps he ripped off some of the people in their sort of nearby communities in the mountains. Whatever the case, he's certainly been putting his newfound wealth to some use. The amount of noise coming from his shop recently, you'd think he'd changed the whole foundations of the building. Some sort of expansion, he calls it. Bah!
Well, I mean, it's good to at least know that business is somewhat booming in a town like this, though.
Well, only for a bellowing, it seems. The bloody kobolds have been causing the rest of us havoc.
That's terrible. So he hasn't had any issues at all, then. Oh, that's a halfling's own luck there, that is.
Yeah, I don't like him really much at all. From the first minute that he turned up here.
Oh, well.
With his grand stories of adventurers.
Oh.
Like he's some sort of peacock, feeling his feathers all the time.
Oh, he's one of those types, is he?
Hey, he's probably annoys me more than Orcs.
Ah.
And that's a statement, I'll tell you.
It's one of those men that never touched a tool in his life, I'm sure.
Well, if you listen to him talking about his stories, you would think he's a hardened warrior. But you look at his hands and they're as soft as any.
You can always tell a lot more about a man by the grip of his hand and the angle of his eyes.
Well said that, Ash. Well said.
Well, I finished these plows here that you've set out for me. If you have any other need of any other work, please feel free to call for me. I'll be at the temple there. Most of my time is free, certainly until my friends return. So, anything else that you might need, or if you just like to grab a drink, I know that you dwarves could drink me under the table in no time, but I like a challenge.
It'll certainly be a challenge for you, lad. But by all means, come and see me at the Rofton's Inn. I'm normally found there most nights drinking away.
I will do that.
And maybe we can play a game of cards or dice or something.
As long as the wager is low.
Don't worry, I'll take your money no matter what the wager.
I'm sure you will.
Well, thanks for your help, Ashby.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure's all mine, lad.
Shantae be with you, sir.
Shantae be with me indeed. And he sees he crashes back into his blacksmithing.
And I walk out. Uh,
Go to Bearwin.
I'm afraid to. Look, my newfound friend doesn't like Berwyn, alright? But I will indeed make my way over to Berwyn.
No! I
I'm about to be kidnapped. I can feel it.
And as you enter Berwyn's shop, you're greeted by, "Welcome to Berwyn's Grand Shop. Oh, I
My.
can't believe we've been introduced, little man. What can I do to help you?" As he leans forward on his counter.
Oh, that is one way to greet a customer. I mean, it's probably not the way that I would do it, but I don't really have much of a shop now, do I? Though this is quite a grand shop. And I hear you've done some
What indeed
expansions,
it is.
perhaps.
Yes, the business is booming, and I'm now to expand my business. I had to create more storage for the grand things that I've collected in my adventuring days that I've managed to acquire by people visiting the village.
Now, might I ask you a question? What is the point of storage if you're running a store and people can't see it? Like, am I allowed to go see this storage to see if there's anything down there that I might find of use to me in my travels?
I have plenty of stock out on show. One does not reveal all their goods. You have to keep people coming back for more. The essence of mystery will do that, in my opinion.
Does it? So you stay very busy
Of
then?
course. Well, we'd get by.
Huh. Well, that's
Now,
fascinating. So what
is
you're
it that
saying
interests
is...
you, son? Would you like to become taller?
No. Believe it or
Probably
not, I
best
wouldn't.
don't actually have anything to do
I'm
with
actually perfectly content with my size. There was a time that I felt that people were a bit heightist, but there are advantages to being a little person.
Well, I'll take your word for it. I wouldn't know, being the height that I am.
Oh well, congratulations.
I think I'm 6'2", by the way.
All right.
In case
Well,
you didn't notice.
that's anything. Once you're a foot taller than me, it all looks the same.
You are a funny little man, aren't you? I didn't even get your names.
My name is Ashby. Ashby Blackseed. I'm
Ashby.
a cleric of Shantae. I've been staying at the temple there with
I've
Sister
heard of
Lenora.
you.
Oh well.
Yes, Sister Lenora.
Small town.
Very. Well, of course it is a small town. You must know that by now.
Well, no.
And what is
actually,
it that brings you to...
I've been outside of
What?
the town mostly, not inside the town.
Well, this is true. What is it that brings you to my shop? What is it that brings you to town?
Oh well, there's a temple here, and I've needed a lot of time to pray, and as a traveler, I'm a traveling merchant myself. Much like I dream one day to be like you and have this glorious shop here, and I wonder what types of goods, what types of things I need to start out on my own.
Well, it's good to have a dream, Ash. I mean, don't set your sights too high. Some things just aren't achievable for everybody. You see, sort of gestures towards his whole shop. Now, I started by collecting all the random sort of trinkets that you find out in the world and going on adventures so that you can tell magical stories. It really does help to sell what you're trying to sell.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Indeed.
I just went on an adventure not too long ago. This shield here, actually, I collected inside a citadel that is sunken deep within the ground. Oh, it's very nice indeed. Believe it,
Wow.
it probably belonged to a paladin of some sort. This is a religious, some religious iconography on here. Not for Shantae,
Certainly
obviously.
does seem to be, doesn't it? I mean, are you looking to part with such an item?
Right now it has a little too much sentimental value. I think that might be my biggest problem as a merchant, is I get too attached to my own discovery.
That will do you no good, you see. He starts to wave his finger. You must learn to detach yourself from your items you wish to sell them. You can never sell an item that you wish to keep.
Oh, yes.
It's just pure mathematics.
Well, I can tell you there are really only a couple of things that I'm looking for, and I'm sure that, honestly, if you had them, they've probably already been sold. There's no way that you would still keep an item such as this. But I'm looking for anything, as a blacksmith. I feel sometimes I find myself a little too weak. I'm a small fellow, as you know, and so if there is anything that you might possess that I could help in that area, I'd love to take a gander at it.
Don't think I have anything quite to meet your needs at this moment in time. I mean, I can certainly make some inquiries. I have a contact in Arabelle. We might be able to come to some form of arrangement.
Well, I would greatly appreciate that. I don't know how much longer I'll be in town, obviously. As a traveling merchant, you kind of have to travel in order to make a living.
Of course.
But
no, it's interesting you say that you're a traveling merchant. I understand that you were in the party with the delightful Kanaka.
Or now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here.
Oh, please do. She fascinates me.
Karnaka is actually involved in procurement herself.
Well, isn't that a marvel?
Indeed.
Not quite what I was looking for. I was looking for maybe some story about her fascinating heritage, her interests.
Well, her interests are shiny things and making money. So, I think you two will get along grandly.
I think you may be right there. Now, Ashby, I'm afraid I don't have anything to help your strength. Is there anything else that I could perhaps help you with?
Not at all.
Are you sure?
I think I will be all right. I just, again, I wanted to get a little inspiration for my own store one day. Obviously not here in Winterfell. I could never, or whatever this is.
You could never compete.
I could never compete with you.
Never bother. Don't you worry about that. Now, if you want any more advice, please do feel free to stop by. It's always good to see those loyal to Chantel. Bring a smile to my face. I see he gives you this really sort of sly smile.
Well, that's what we're here for, isn't it? But
Very well, Ashby. If there's no business to be done, I'm afraid I want you to leave.
Indeed. All right. Well, thank you, and
Goodbye.
You have yourself a wonderful day, and best of luck on your expansion.
Yes, if you see Karnaka, you tell her that I would like to see her. We had some business that we would like to clear up.
Ooh, well, I am certain that she will love to see you again.
Very well, of course she will. Everybody does. Goodbye, Ashby. Lovely to see you. He sees him gesturing wildly with his arm at this time.
All right, farewell. And then I just head back to the temple and try to compress what I have just been told and experienced.
Yeah, and that night,
oh Lord,
as you are trying to rest, you find your mind assaulted by horrible images. First of all, you see this image of a sort of dark black obsidian mace. You see it has skulls on the four sides of the tip of this mace, and you see that it's just dripping with blood. And then as the nights follows, these nightmares get worse. You see this mace being wielded to smash acolytes, which seem to have this symbol of a blazing sun. And eventually, as these dreams get worse, path of blood within some form of temple just becomes too much to bear. Dead bodies of these acolytes slain. And you see a figure. Seems to be an elven figure. A very sort of pale, cold face, looking into winter, decked in this dark obsidian plate armor. It's difficult for you to make out. A sort of aura of shadows just completely engulfs this figure. And as he looks at you, you feel from behind him this large ram come. But before it's able to, you feel a presence of sun and the presence of a sort of flower bud encasing you in love. And over these days, you notice that the mood within the people are a little bit more skittish, and they appear to be a little bit more nervous. And you notice people seem to be giving sort of furtive glances before sort of darting away throughout the beach. And we will leave Ashby there.
Bye,
We will turn our
Ashby.
attention. We will turn our attention back to our group.
Hardly know you.
Don't you dare hurt him.
I'll be alright.
I miss Ashby.
He'll be back soon enough.
Don't you dare hurt him.
Also, Alex, were you
Yes.
describing a certain person?
I may have been.
Yeah, that's it when you started. I won't say anything more.
Hold up. Is this art that Brandon's done for you, Alex?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Never mind. Okay, I'm happy.
Screaming.
Now, you find yourselves Dodge trying to get out of the dungeon as quick as possible.
Gotta
The
go.
rest of you are still within the small little room beyond the ritual room. What would you like to do?
Okay, I know we just had this conversation 3 seconds ago, but I think we should go into this room. It's only been 3 seconds, guys, not a month.
Oh my god, it's been a month.
Uh,
I know Mr. Dodge just gave it a light look over, but I am inclined to agree. What if we did miss something within
Yes.
there?
We could be prisoners, and we'd be leaving them for dead.
Dodge,
well,
would you mind be taking these kids and finding some place safe for them? Just for the time being, will be like 5 minutes, if that.
look, these kids did not respond well to me. Alright, they kind of freaked out. I tried to do a little card trick. If you don't remember, I tried a card trick. It did not work. Alright,
Well,
so
Perhaps you
need...
should get better at card tricks. Savina, would you mind taking these kids?
Not at all.
that is better.
Okay, we'll just like kind of give him that like, ugh, and look to Shay and walk on back into the room.
Yes.
Yeah, and the children have warmed slightly too, so they're very sort of happy to go. The one that was sort of thrashing about in more frustrated earlier seems to calm down. He's a bit sulky in his standard sort of teenage boy attitude, but you are able to sort of corral them together, so you can sort of lead them away leading them away from the ritual. Kanaka and Shay, will you be joining them, Dodge?
Well, I'm certainly not staying with the kids. That did not work out well.
And how are we looking to enter into this area?
I think we've all got dark vision, haven't we?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. So as you sort of make your way down this sort of cold corridor, dark vision, allowing you to see those sort of just essentially just shaded grey. You poke your head back around the corridor again, and you see you off into 6 rooms.
You're splitting up just a little bit, Alex.
Oh, sorry. As you sort of put your head around a sort of dark in front of you, and you can see that it seems to split off into what looks to be 6 different rooms. Very sort of the walls sort of very well sort of mason stonework.
So we each take a room, and open it, or should we open one at a time?
I think probably one at a time would definitely work better. I mean, what the hell's gonna be in here? We don't know.
Good point.
Wait,
Mage
let
hand,
me.
don't you? Yes.
I was just about to say that. I will go to the first door on the left, stand about 15 feet away, cast Mage Hand, and open the door.
Okay. I want you all to make perception checks for me.
Oh no. Big money, no whammies.
Okay, cool. Dodge. As Kanaka is doing this, you can notice that throughout this room, there are murals etched on the wall. Murals of sort of undead, ravaging, and a large sort of what looks to be a sort of half goat-like figure with a head skull of a ram, leading these undead figures into war.
I'm telling you, this place it screams of a weirdo church.
This is the Church of Orcus, from what I've come to understand. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, especially what we've just seen in the previous room.
I'd like to get back outside the sunshine and rainbows, so let's pick up pace here.
I'm certainly trying.
It's just sort of, at that point, your sort of purple skilled whiff of sort of stale air comes to open the door. Can't
Yes.
quite make out what's inside from this point of view.
Can't quite see from here. Shay, do you want to get closer?
Yes, I can get close. It's fine. I'll shuffle up along the wall, and I'll just kind of peek my head around the corner without going fully into the room.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Oh no! Oh.
Tail. Boop.
Oh, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Yeah, cool. Just sort of slowly and steadily, you remember your times and sort of forage, trying to focus on that practice as well as you can.
Mhm.
As you sort of poke your head around the wall, you can see what looks to be some residence. It seems like somewhere where the kobolds perhaps sleep. You can see it's room enough. Maybe it's 4 or 5. You see the sort of nest laid out.
All right. Is there any items of note within the room, or is it just like a sleeping chamber?
You can see what looks like maybe pouch next to the beds.
No documents or anything like that. No.
No documents or anything.
Okay.
Like this.
I will slowly close the door then with my hand.
Okay.
Anything of interest?
Yeah, there was lots of kobolds sleeping, but I think if we're quiet, we'll be fine.
Oh, there was no actual kobolds there.
Oh, I thought you said there was. Sorry,
No, no.
cut out. I thought-
Yeah,
I
it just
heard
looks like
kobolds, I
somewhere
was
where they,
see,
would
okay.
sleep.
It was an empty room. There was nothing. So yes, I think we're good so far. Next room.
I will open the next room with my hand.
Yeah, and as you get
Mage hand.
Mage hand gets closer to this door, you notice this door already seems to be open, slightly ajar.
I will push it very, very gently.
And then what?
Shay, do you want to carry on? You did
Stealth
so well
roll.
last time.
I'll just roll across. I'll do the same.
No, it's okay. We can use the
roll
same
later.
roll. You don't need to roll again, don't worry. Yeah, as you make and you see this is a similar room. Sort of possible use for sleeping and stuff. However, you do notice that there appear to be 2 kobolds curl up almost nervously as if they're trying to sort of hide away.
Oh. Do they look like? I mean, we've seen female and children kobolds. Do they look like that, or?
They look like
I think maybe the ones that ran from the other room.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's fine. I'll just close the door.
Well, sorry, wrong accent.
So, there's kobolds hiding in there, but I don't think they're a threat.
Okay.
We should keep going.
Okay. Move up slightly to the next door. Same again with the mage hand.
This door appears to be locked.
Mr. Dodge,
Does Dodge have
Ma'am.
lockpicks?
would you be so kind? This one seems to be locked.
Well, I can make an effort, but I honestly was never
think-
very good at that.
I think Tara has lockpicks.
I've got the tools. It's just
I
that
have lockpicks.
I've got the tools. I just was never as skilled at that as
Oh,
I have
okay.
been at so many other things in my life.
Like horse thievery.
Exactly. Which obviously I was good enough at to get
Also
locked
very
up
bad
for
at, seeing
7
as you
years,
got
so
caught.
that is
Mhm.
exactly what I was saying. Thank you for interrupting, ma'am.
You're very welcome.
I
Now
will
please, come
pull
on.
out my thieves' tools, and I will first I will check to make sure that there are no traps or any other mechanisms of the sort on the room.
Okay, make a perception check for
Okay.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, it's very sort of well crafted stone. If you had to guess, you'd probably guess that it was dwarf nature. However, there does not seem to be anything
All
out of the ordinary.
And then I will use my thieves' tools to try to pick the lock. Is that Dex?
Dexterity, yeah.
Oh, nice! Very nice,
Uh,
Mr. Dodge.
You sort of just look at Kanako as you do it, and just you
I'm
hear
gonna
it
miss
click.
you, Dodge.
As the door, you push the door open, and you can see inside seem to be sort of shackles hanging from the ceiling that seem to be used to restrain. There are sort of stains of blood and stuff. There's a layer of sort of dried hay, and there's sort of stains of as well, feces, excrement. Looks like it was some sort of room used to hold prisoners.
Kay will walk up to Dodge and just kind of say to him before looking into the room, well, Mr. Dodge, it seems like you were being modest with us. Oh my god, what is that fucking stench? Oh,
You were the one
Dear
that
God.
wanted to get in here.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
well, I thought there was going to be something of worth behind this door, but apparently it's just nightmares. Oh my god. Okay, yep. No, we'll close that one.
Have you seen the murals on the wall here? This place is pretty much nightmares. Like, that's what we have. Did you forget the giant freaking dragon thing that was in the other room?
I did not forget about that, but I also know that giant freaking dragons tend to have fucking big hordes with them.
You didn't find a big enough hoard for you back upstairs?
What do you mean, the copper and silver?
The copper
cheap
and
for my blood.
silver and gold and...
Regardless. Next door.
Yes.
And do the same.
You're going to do this for all 6 rooms, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, cool, yeah.
let's
So the
just
next
knock
2
that out,
rooms
yeah.
just the same as the first 2
Oh.
rooms. There's going to be some other stuff. Sleeping quarters for kobolds. When you get to the last room, this room is slightly more ordered, slightly more controlled, and there seems to be a desk in this room along with lots of sort of roll and plan.
Bingo.
What's that? What is
It's,
this bingo you speak of?
It's a word, like for yay.
Oh, you mean like jackpot?
Yes. What's jackpot?
It's, you know what? It's from a
these words.
3-dragon anti-game. It's for gambling.
Oh, gambling. I don't gamble. Yes.
Oh,
You can
I
tell.
don't think you would like it.
No,
That's not my.
maybe I
I
could
think.
teach you one day.
I don't know. But yeah, let's investigate this room. This looks special.
Careful now, alright?
Hmm.
I've fallen into a couple of traps since we've been in here. the big man out there has fallen into a couple of traps since we've been in here. This room seems a little too perfect, if you ask me.
How are you guys going to proceed?
I would like to check for traps.
Yeah, make a perception check. It does seem to be quite immaculate, this room. Nothing really seems out of place. There's nothing to indicate that there is. You spend a couple of minutes hands along the sort of walls and stuff in a place that may activate some form of trap, but there's nothing that you can find to indicate that.
Room seems to be okay, y'all.
Okay. Let's just take everything then that might be informative. And then we'll just get out of here as fast as possible. So she'll just run to the desk and try and take up any loose paper she can see, maybe. Like anything that looks.
Yeah, and it's just immediately you can see that these papers trapped different sort of ways to this utilized for this specific dungeon. You also notice a silver dragon's tooth.
Ooh.
Shotgun.
Seems to be beautifully scrimshawed and defiled, the likeness of Tiamat.
Ooh.
There is also a carved bone pitcher as well.
A bone pitcher.
As well as within the drawer, 228 gold.
Oh,
Well, hello.
Kanaka, you can have that. Or
Yo,
obviously
whoa,
divide
whoa,
it.
whoa,
Thank you very
the
much.
party of
Hey,
not just for you,
whoa,
Kanaka.
hey now. Come
I
on.
know, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I should have chosen my words more.
No, I
Okay.
think you chose them perfectly.
No, I chose them poorly, Kanaka. Anyway.
No.
And is that everything, Alex, in this room?
That's everything.
Okay, I think we have what we came for, so we should just go.
How much gold was that, sorry?
I will post it in.
Thank you very much, good sir.
I'm really confused why someone has a sculpture of Tiamat.
Well, obviously, there were dragons here. She is the dragon queen, is she not?
Well, indeed, but they obviously serve Orcus.
Maybe they're allied in some way.
Oh, great. So the five-headed dragon queen is allied with this Orcus.
Potentially.
That cannot end poorly at all for us.
I just think we probably shouldn't be caught with this Tiamat thing on it. It could look bad if,
yeah, that will be very bad.
We should get rid of that as soon as possible. Or even not take it. I don't really need it. It's just,
Well, I have contacts. I could get rid of it.
Yeah, and you can see that it's made out of sort of pure silver. It's like it's actually got a good amount of value to it.
This thing is made from pure silver. I know a couple people, okay? I can definitely get rid of this, and hey, we can put it towards something for the group, perhaps. I'm just saying it's definitely worth taking.
Okay. Let's go then. There's no survivors here, and obviously this was not a waste of time, but, it was
Definitely not a waste of time.
It wasn't what we thought it was.
If we're done, we're gonna need to move because we gotta figure out how the hell we're getting back out of here.
Let us away then.
Okay, you're able to navigate your way through the Cabal lair pretty easily. It takes you a little bit longer than getting here, just because you've problem of navigating with 4 children. However, you do manage to make your way until you get to the bridge.
Let me turn this caravan around.
And what are you guys going to do at the bridge? You can see Savina is just waiting with the 4 children in front of the bridge.
We're playing like tic-tac-toe on the wall.
You're teaching them like algebra and stuff.
She's teaching them about necromancy.
Oh, hey, what now?
Joking. That was a joke.
Yes, I guess.
Okay, so one at a time across the bridge then.
Well, how big are the children? Like, are they kobold size?
Oh yeah, they are. They range from sort of 5 years old to 12 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So maybe one of us should go over first to like goad them over, and then the rest everyone else go one at a time. But Uramon, sorry, you should go last. Kind of big.
well, do you remember what we did last time? Savina Dodge, where I shot the wand of entangle up against the wall there and we climbed across?
Oh, that's right.
I
Did
do,
that.
but that sounds like a bad idea for children.
Oh, so that was
Well,
because the bridge
I'm
was
not-
broken at the time.
Exactly, but we could send the children across and us bigger ones could use that same method that we did last time.
I don't think the bridge would hold us anyway.
I don't think it would
it'll
either.
Hold some of us. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see when it broke, obviously, but I can't imagine that it's going to crack immediately.
No, it's fine. I can
Well,
go over
I
first.
think the kids are gonna be fine, but not us.
Agreed. Look,
I have an idea. I'll go over first.
okay.
I will chip into a cat.
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
so smart.
So I'm tiny.
So
Well, not
smart.
I'm small. Alright. And I'll just trot across the bridge.
You see Shay just form into a cat form. Sort of blonde, fluffy ball of fur. It just sort of casually makes its way across the bridge. Manages to make it to the other side. You see the children are like, a little bit of sort of happiness and shock showing their grief at this point.
Mm-hmm. I turn back into Shay, and I start to like kind of, get the children to kind of walk over one at a time. Kind of thing.
Okay. Kay will just like bend down next to one of them and just says, okay, so you see how slowly and gentle she went across the bridge? One at a time. Go do exactly the same. Nice and gentle, okay? Go on.
Is there anything on the other side that we could maybe tie a rope to or anything to use as a guideline or nothing?
No.
Is there a door frame on the other side or anything?
There's a door frame back at the secret
Yeah, there's a secret door.
way. I guess the bridges have posts on the end as well, so it's something you can actually tie a rope to.
Yeah, and the posts held up last time?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Then I will tie the rope to one post and I'll toss it across to Shay and say, tie this on the other end and we can, if it does give out, then there's something to hold on to and, shimmy across if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have another piece of rope? We could tie one at the bottom, and then you got a foothold and a handhold.
Unfortunately, I do not.
I think Uramon will shuffle forward. Yeah, so our hand is like, here you are, Dodge. Use this.
You sound
Alright, and I do the same thing except on the bottom this time. And tie it tight and pass it, throw it over to Shay to do the same thing. This way, if it does give out, we've got something that can hold the weight of at least one person, obviously.
So you've tied basically a line to the post and
one to the top on each side, and one to one to the top, and one to the bottom,
so
both on the same side.
There's about 1.5 feet between them because the post height is only one.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, for the kids, it doesn't really.
For the
matter,
kids, it's, yeah.
And, for us, it still will serve as something.
Cool. Okay, kids are going over first.
Yes.
Okay.
Just hold
kids
on.
Managed to make it
One
over
at a time.
One at a time, they managed to make it over fine. You can see when the older child goes on, you hear a slight crack. The bridge, and he just sort of bolts it across. He manages to make it, but the bridge is still intact.
I high five each of them as they get over.
Oh God.
It's fine.
see-
They did really good.
None of the kids return your sort of high five. They're still shook.
Oh.
Their heads are slowly down, and
God, she's so awkward.
I'm just looking at my hand.
As much as that is a good idea, I think I'm going to go the way that we came last time. And I will go through the secret door and shoot the one with Entangle and try and climb across.
cool, yeah. And you guys can use that way to get across with time.
Yes, with Tara.
I assume the rest of you are going to do that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Cool. You finally manage to sort of make your way out. You get to the large pit, make your way down the ladder. You notice that the ladder comes off the side and and you manage to come up. It's a little bit slow. The children sort of lag a little. They do appear to be completely sort of exhausted from sort of trials and tribulations. But eventually you do manage to exit out of hidden part of the Cabal, avoiding the third rock. You find yourself back in Waterfall Cave. A rushing sound of hitting your ears as soon as you sort of come up from underneath the sort of throne.
I never thought I'd be happy to hear the sound of that waterfall again.
And to start collecting your hoard, I assume.
Well, I can't carry all of it. Could maybe take a few pieces, though.
Quite certain you'll grab more than a few.
I'm gonna take a handful of silver.
Okay.
until I get over encumbered. or just flat encumbered.
Okay, cool. I'll let you figure that out yourself.
I will.
You've got a pot of 1,395 silver.
Excellent. I've just put 100 in. Let's go for 150. Do that. Oh, we're still pretty good. Well, let's put 200 in. Okay. Oh, we're getting somewhere, guys. Okay, let's try 300. Oh, we're still getting somewhere. Okay.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
While Karnaka is sort of filling their pockets, what are the rest of you?
Holy shit.
I'll help Kay with some gold or money.
Fill those
my God.
parachute pants to the top.
I'm doing it. Guys, I'm on 800 right now. 900. Holy shit. I am so fucking strong. Okay, that's it. I'm done. 950.
I'll take whatever's left, I guess.
Oh wait, no, I lied. 925. Nope, 920.
900.
900. We'll go for that.
What's
Okay.
still to get picked up then? How much?
495 silver.
Okay, I can't carry anything else.
So 495 pieces still lying there?
There is.
Okay.
It does take you a long time
Oh,
to separate it from the copper.
2,
I'm
3.
so close to encumbered,
What?
but I'm just below.
So it's up to you. So if you want to take all that money and separate it from it's going to take you.
I'm
between the
happy.
two.
I'm just saying an extra 90 gold goes a long way.
And during that time, the children become very sort of restless.
Okay.
Very anxious.
Okay.
One of them
come
starts
on.
to break out into crying.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay, look, come on, we're done. Come on,
You don't care about us, you just care about money.
No, this money will be going back to the people of Winterhaven.
Where's Whitehaven?
Just making a deception check.
It's Winterhaven.
It's been too long, we forgot.
Yeah.
Ash called it Winterfell, like we're in the freaking Westeros.
It's a couple days journey from here. It's going to take what, Mr. Dodge? What did it take? Like 3 days to get here?
It takes
4.
about 2 days to get here, yeah.
2 days.
Yeah,
It's
2 days.
3 days, I think it is.
4 with kids. Let's say 4.
Yeah.
But now we
Okay,
know where
so-
we're going.
I don't want to get you bogged down in travel, so I think I'm going to do a little skill challenge.
Yes.
Oh
This
no.
is something I've been trying to develop. I haven't had time to develop properly, so I'm just gonna try to do it on the fly. So
Traveling
These kids.
montage.
It worked so well for the Curse of Strahd one
Yeah.
Yeah.
essentially,
until
This is
Brandon rolled a
relative-
1.
dodge is the way. So it's only like a complexity of 1. So you need 4 successes, but 2 fails. Your sort of primary skills that you can athletics, and at least one person has to make an athletics check. You also have nature check, survival, which at least one person will have, and then you can also use perception check. So that's like your primary skills, but then if you can think of any way to use other skills, you're more than welcome to incorporate those. So we'll just roll initiative, so we've got a way of tracking doing. So I'll just move this tokens.
Yes, please.
Give me a second. I think someone's knocking my door.
No, that's okay.
Ignore it.
Oh,
I'm joking.
no.
Yeah,
You guys
I'll
can
be
start
there in
rolling
2
initiative.
seconds.
Oh, okay.
2 seconds too.
Oh.
Like roll 20 is loading.
Classic Karnaka.
I mean, your number isn't really as important for this because you're just.
Wait, do I have advantage because I'm
You
got them
didn't
all
get a
warning on
chance
me?
to attune it yet, did you?
Damn it!
Yeah, haven't. Yeah, that's true.
No, I know.
How long was that? Was the collecting of money thing?
An hour.
So could everyone else have taken a short rest, like Oramorn and Tara?
Yes. Yes. We
Take that off. Dun, dun,
Very
dun,
good
dun.
point.
Well, that
Karnaka
works.
probably could too, right? I mean, it's light activity, collecting money.
This bitch has done this a lot. She knows what she's doing.
I'm not sure how many hit those Aaron has left.
I have no clue.
I have a feeling he has 1.
Is it not marked on his sheet?
Well, he's got a total of 3, but doesn't say how many he got.
Hmm.
It's fine. Are you going to do Song of Rest during that time as well, then, Tara?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I rolled that to myself, so I will roll that again. Because... Okay, cool.
Oh, nice.
Hey, a healthy Oramorn.
Oh.
So I think Oramorn would probably do the athletics check.
Athletics, definitely.
And
Okay,
Dodge
so
will
Airmon's
probably
not going to
do-
be in the skill.
Oh, okay.
What am I rolling again? Is it initiative?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
initiative, yeah.
Sorry.
Airmon is. Oh, he didn't click the token. It's okay. I'll
Oh,
add you.
damn it.
It's alright, I'll add you. Airmon is very sort of in a slightly sort of somber mood.
Sure.
Hmm.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
what?
there, but not really there.
Well, if I'm leading the way out, I'm going to use survival. It's not my turn, but Savina's first. But...
Okay, so Savina, what would you like to do to help your party?
So I'm not good at anything remotely physical. However, I would like to argue that I could use persuasion to like keep the kids' like spirits up.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we can definitely go for that.
Okay.
Just-
Oh boy!
Oh no.
Fail
good.
one right off
That's
the
fine.
bat.
I'm apparently talking about like interesting books on like different theories I've read.
You're talking about dead bodies right now. That's all you're
Yeah.
talking about.
So what I'm going to do, so last time I kind of reacted to your roll straight away. I think I'm taking note of them. And then once you either have succeeded or we'll decide from there.
Okay.
Okay. Shay, I think this round to you.
Okay. I would also like to aid with the children, where I will
Okay.
donate my art supplies. They can paint or draw, just to keep themselves active. Maybe I'll even give them some painting lessons. I don't know. I'll do that sort of stuff.
Okay. What skills do you want to use for that?
I don't know, it's like I'm teaching them.
Performance? Is that a performance thing?
Yeah, you can do
Like-
performance if you like.
Performance? Where is that?
Oh.
No, it's fine. I will do performance. Hey.
Oh, that's
Nice!
That's okay.
Nice! Yes!
Yeah. Teach them all my techniques.
Okay, yeah, cool. Okay. Dodge.
Yeah, I'm just following the path out. I'm going to use survival and just, try to get us out as safely as possible. Find the best path, especially
what's your-
for children.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, go for it.
What's my what?
I was going to ask you what your background is, but
I'm a scout, so. Oh, but the background was the horse thief thing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember what. Did you say what the DC was?
I did not.
Yeah, that might not be okay. Might be
Yeah.
too pale.
Kanaka,
Yes.
your turn.
Oh boy. Okie dokie. I don't know.
Your new strength. Where's your new strength?
I know. I've got a 2 in athletics, and a Furywold's not
I can
doing
do.
it.
I can do it. I have a 4.
Okay,
Okay.
that's
Ooh, that's better.
Thank
That's
God.
better.
Thank God.
Although that means Nina has to roll for it, and
Yeah.
Um,
But I have
kinda-
to roll for something anyway.
that's true. That's true.
I kind of feel like after seeing Savina and Shay, like Shay did pretty well with the kids, but like after seeing Savina's very poor attempt at trying to keep them entertained, I would kind of like to use deception to just be like, oh yes, we're nearly there. Like it's only going to be a few more hours and all
Okay,
that.
yeah. Cool.
And
Okay.
see if I can...
These kids are
Oh
gonna
God, please,
hate
for the
you.
love of God, yeah.
Yes!
Whoa.
Nice.
Even I believe you.
Damn.
Wow, I can't believe we're that close.
It's only going to take a few more hours, and I swear, as soon as we get there, I'll get you all a nice warm bed. We'll fill your tummy with some nice warm food. Get you a cup of warm. What do kids drink? Is it milk? I'll get you some warm milk with some honey in it. I promise you,
Jester.
okay?
Okay, Tara, that brings us home to you.
Yeah, I'd like to use and I have to use athletics.
Yep.
I would like to move boulders and difficult stuff out of the way, just so the path is somewhat clearer.
Cool, yeah, that's fine.
16.
Good job.
Nice.
Okay. So as you guys begin to make your way back through the sort of valley, Dodge, you're very sort of focused on the stuff, and you're very sort of, although you're not familiar with the valley itself, you're definitely familiar with the land beyond the valley, and you've managed to make good notes of sort of the way that you came when you sort of made your way through the valley. The children proved to be a little bit difficult to sort of handle at first, and as sort of Savina's trying to keep them in line, just sort of react out and sort of scream. At that point, you do notice some kobolds within the
shit.
canyon. They seem like they're sort of turning to focus on you, but seeing the sort of recognizing, they do actually turn around and they don't actually enforce themselves upon you. With Tara's aid, you're able to make your way through difficult terrain and stuff that you come across while you're making your way the canyon. And she also keeps the children uplifted with some nice sort of throwing skills as well, joining Shay's performance. Shay, at night time, you sort of sit down with the go through art and stuff to help them to sleep at night, because rest if they're very sort of nervous. Artistic talents, and you get them in some of that to try and help them rest for the night. That's what you do throughout the sort of journey. And Kanaka, you keep them in check a little bit. Stop them. Just keep. You use as many lies as possible to try and keep.
Yeah.
When you come out of the canyon herd, you are met by the smell of smoke filling the air ahead of you, and ahead you can notice thick black smoke billowing out of the path from the forest ahead of you, walking the sort of light of the sun.
Oh, no.
You would have all had a long rest by now.
Oh,
As well.
thank God.
Yeah. Is this the same forest where we fought the two dragons
Yeah,
previously?
I'll move you to the. No. You're out of the.
This is the
Oh, okay.
sketchy forest.
Oh.
We get 1 hit dice back, don't we?
Yes, you do.
Excellent.
Yeah, this is the Highlight Forest. So you're as you're.
Yes.
But
Just
now,
that a portion of the Highlight Forest seems.
if I recall,
Can
we
I
don't
have
to
a
go.
tune to the Maul of Warning as well?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. I'm not going to use it. I just want to keep it on the back.
If I recall, we don't have to go into the Holic Forest to get
I'd
back
rather
to
not.
Winterhaven.
No.
But
I do.
that seems very suspicious.
Yes, we know that there was that group in the Hulk Forest and the
Those
wolf.
motherfuckers.
Also the fairies. Remember the fairies? They were really nice.
I have no clue, but I'll take your word for it. But I think our job requires us to get back to where we were going, and just
Yes.
to get these kids home as quickly as possible. It's too dangerous to check out some very scary smoke.
How far away is the smoke?
Probably about 70, 80 feet.
Ooh, that's close.
I'm going to send Volatoy up into the air.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
And-
V's back.
I've got my birdo! Yeah, I'm going to send Volatoy up into the air and just want to get him to do a flyover.
Yep, that's cool. A second. So yeah, as you sort of send, eventually following the sort of trail of smoke, leads him to a grove of burnt trees. You can see through the ground around him, below him, sort of barren and dead. The earth tainted grey by fire. The trees have been stripped of their sort of verdant beauty, leaving their gaunt skeletal sort of remains rooted to the barren soil. They seem to sort of reach the sky like pallid, gnarled hands, as if desperate to sort of latch into this realm.
I mean, it's just a bunch of burnt trees. It's nothing really out of note. Maybe someone had a campfire and got a little bit out of hand.
Maybe.
You can make
Is
a-
the yeah? I was
go
gonna say, is it in like a weird shape at all, or like the surrounding of trees? Is it?
Does it look like a ram's head?
Yeah. Like
Make
is
a
it
perception check for me.
with the bird though? Don't fuck me, Volatoy. Ooh boy. Come on, Birdo. 15, not bad.
15. Okay, yeah, you can notice that nothing particularly out of the ordinary sort of shape-wise about the tree. However, you can make out what it is to be some sort of tracks. You'd say, looking at them, that they look to be a group of kobolds that potentially came this way.
I mean, just looks like a group of kobolds came through this way. I see a few tracks. Potentially the ones that escaped out of the, well, seeing that they probably moved very fast. But no, probably just kobolds, nothing more. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just be on our guard on the way home.
Yes.
That's good advice.
And I will call Volatoy back.
Okay. And you guys continue your sort of journey just as a sort of west of Dodger, sort of keeping a very sort of watch.
Mhm.
Is there any sort of form of danger or anything? But your time does pass without any issue, and eventually the sort of gates of Winterhaven appear before you. The small fields around the sort of walled heart of Winterhaven seem strangely empty, though. And you can see the people that you do see appear to be nervous, and they sort of pause to give furtive glances at you before sort of darting away back into their sort of nearby cottages and houses. And eventually you find yourselves at the gate of Winterhaven, and you are met by Mr. Kelfman. Yeah. So I see the abandoned expectations have returned.
You just cry in his face. Yes, we have returned. We dealt with the business with the.
And I see you have brought with you some young survivors.
Yes, we need
Now,
them
children,
sent back.
are they okay?
As well as you can be when you're being kept inside the kobold cave for God knows how long. Yes, they're fine, Mr. Kelfman.
I take it you have looked after them very well. Now, I know who you four are. Frederick, see that these are returned to their mothers and fathers. And before you do, take them to Rufton's and get them a good meal. You want some of Rufton's stew? It will feed you up, make you big and strong like Mr. Kelfman, huh? With that, you see the guard sort of takes them and sort of hurries them to Rufton's. Now, were you successful in your mission or not?
Define success.
I mean,
Well, we're alive, aren't we?
we may have more questions.
And we brought the goods back.
Yes.
I think we need to talk to
The king.
Lord Padraig.
Lord Padraig, please, because
Yes, I understand. But I must ask you, have the kobolds been taken care of?
the kobolds have
Yes.
cleared out of that section, yes.
Yes, and their leader is dead as well.
And so is a dragon.
At this point,
Well,
he
multiple
steps-
actually.
And two baby dragons too. Yeah.
with that news, he steps towards you, dodge, rolls out some sort of writ, slams it into your chest. But if the kobolds are done, then you are a free man, Mr. Dodge. He grabs you by your lapel and pulls you in. But you are not welcome here. While I pit up with you, while Lord Padraig brought you under his wing, you sicken me. And you are not welcome in this village as long as I am the man to protect it. So you will take this writ and you will leave, and I will never see you again. Do you understand me?
Well, but we have to celebrate. You can send them away now.
There are no buts! This man is to leave
Kelfman, I know
this village.
you and I don't get along. Alright? But you're gonna want my help with whatever is about to happen. Alright? And
You
hey,
step
look,
one foot
I'm
in
not
my
stepping in-
village
I'm
and
not
you
stepping in
will
your
be
village.
in the cell.
I'm not stepping in your village, alright? I understand. I'm gonna camp out here. Outside. 100 yards down the road, find a nice place, alright? And if you need me, I'll be there for the next couple of days.
I don't want to see you at my gates. It's from my call or Lord Padraig's call.
And that's fine by me. You, but before I go, you wouldn't happen to have a horse I could, use as, a job well done sort of thing?
It's funny that you should ask such a thing, Mr. Dodge. I thought you maybe needed to persuade it to leave. So I did buy you a horse. And you see as the sort of stable master brings out this straggly little pony.
Ooh.
A horse fit for you, Mr. Dodge. Yes?
I think she's beautiful. I
And
really
there's a sort
do.
of the stable master brings over to you, spits at your feet. Still don't see why I have to give this piece of crap a horse.
I want to punch him.
No,
I missed
hey,
that.
it's alright. I deserve every
No, it's
bit.
not.
I deserve every bit of his vitriol, alright? But look, we've rode together now. Y'all need me for anything. You just ask around.
I know where you'll be,
People will
Mr. Dodge.
always be able to
But he
find Lord
isn't talking
Dodge.
to you.
Take your pony, Mr. Dodge. Get off of my land. And as for you, miss, and he turns towards you, Tara, I've had quite enough of your cheek. If you give me any more, then you will be finding yourself in the cell.
I think that would prove very bad for both parties, Mr. Keltham. And if I may, Mr. Dodge has proven invaluable in his services since we've
I am
been
not
gone.
interested in what Mr. Dodge has done.
It's alright. It's alright. I deserve his hatred. He don't know any different. It's all right. I'll go. All right. Don't
Be on your way, Mr. Judge. As for the
100
rest of
yards
you,
down the road, right?
100 yards, 100 feet at least.
well.
A mile would be better. 100 miles would be even better.
Well, I'm gonna go down the road a ways, not too far off the trail, but not back in the Hullock Forest. Y'all
And I do
need me.
not want
I'll
to
be
hear
there
about
for the next
any
couple of
horses
days.
going
Okay,
missing.
all right. I'm gone. And Dodge hops on his poor little pony and does one of those classic Western, rearing up the pony type things. And he rides off.
You can give Dodge inspiration.
Yeah.
Now, as for the rest of you, Lord Pedro will be very keen to see what you have said. Make yourselves available to him in 2 hours' time. Don't cause any trouble for me, please.
Okay. We shall.
Trouble? Us? Really?
Yes, really. Don't give me that smile, Miss K.
How did you know I was? That's so creepy.
I imagine she's always smiling.
As Kelfa walks away, I'm going to turn to the rest of the group, put my hands together. Well, it's been lovely spending this time with you, but I need to find Ashby.
Oh, he's been away for
And she
so
runs
long.
off.
Oh, bye-bye.
Where?
I'm going to the temple.
Okay. Remember, Pedrax in 2 hours.
Whatever.
You said Ash had those dreams for several days.
He did, yes.
It seems very likely to me that he would have talked to Sister Lenora about it. And
Yes.
the main thing that he would probably be trying to find out, because everyone else's mood has become quite dour, is if she too was having terrible dreams.
Sister Nord would convey to you that she too was having dreams, and hers were very similar to yours.
Terrible! Great, okay.
So we got 2 hours, right? I'll see you in 2 hours. And she turns around and runs after that.
Oh my.
Okay.
I mean, come on, how fast can that pony be with a grown man?
How far is Dodge going?
He said 100 yards down the road, so.
Okay.
And
Make an athletics check, Tara.
Yes. Athletics. 15.
Okay. Tara just sort of bolts up before any of you are able to sort of stop her, and she's just gone, this cloud of dust. One comes like, "Slow down, lady!" Von Kelfin yells out as you sort of run past him. We'll come back to that in a minute. What the rest of you do?
I think Shay would go back to the inn to her room. Do we still have the rooms?
Yeah, you still have the room, yeah.
And she's just gonna leave anything in her room that isn't needed on her person, I guess.
Okay.
So I guess I don't know, the bone picture, I suppose, and the documents that I've already read, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, if I get an idea of what everyone's gonna do, and then we'll sort of.
Were we supposed to return that sending stone to
Oh, that's another thing I should do. Yeah.
Creepy McPeeperson?
Mm-hmm. We need to talk to that guy because he was not helpful at all.
He was not.
But we can deal with him after Pedrak, I think. I mean, I guess we have 2 hours.
I'm still just sitting in the temple.
Okay.
I don't know they're back yet.
Uramon, what would you like to do?
So we've just gotten back. We haven't. Have we explored the town at all? Like, have we went back to the inn to see if that hunter chick has been there, or?
Not yet. You've literally just arrived.
Okay. I guess he would kind of look around and see what everyone else is doing. and then maybe turn to the group. Well, I think we have some business to take care of in the inn, wouldn't you say? 2 hours is enough time to at least have a speaking with that little hunted lady.
Yes, it seems possible. I was going to go back to the inn anyway.
Oh, Shay, I know we were supposed to take the sending stone back to Valthrin. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, if you don't mind. Maybe give it back to him with a bit of attitude, because he wasn't really helpful with the dragon, you know?
I'm asking Savina to give attitude.
I mean, yeah, just return. You don't really have to give him any attitude. It's just, I don't know, I find it suspicious that he was so unwilling to help us with some information.
Okay.
It's cool. You can be as passive-aggressive as you wish. And I give her the sending stone.
Okay, and yourself and
I'm going to go back to the room to put all my stuff away.
As she takes the sending stone, she just like winks at you, Shay.
Get it.
She's confused.
I'll be all. As you and all will make your sort of fed the guardsman, you do notice that Ninaran is sat downstairs,
Alex,
shaded. Yep.
Are we all on that map, or?
I'm on a
I've
black
only got-
screen.
'Cause
Yes, I've
otherwise
only
it's
got
a black screen.
Yes, I've only
Okay.
got Roman show.
Okay. Seeing that Shay had mentioned that she wanted to put all of her stuff around, or down, Ermorn would go and sit like right next to this human, very uncomfortably, but stare at Ninarin and wait for Shay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go upstairs, put all the stuff that's non-valuables away. Then I come back downstairs. And I just kind of, why are you so intent on speaking with Ninarin?
Dodge was pretty sure that she had something to do with whatever's happening around here.
Sorry, my Brandon's brain's blanking. It's been a month, so I can't remember.
Dodge indicated that Ninaran was the person that would come and scout Grand Canyon Valley for Lord Padraig.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, I remember now. Yes, I guess she did seem quite unwilling to help us when it was her environment of expertise.
I don't necessarily trust Dodge, but he seemed quite suspicious of her. I think it's worth looking into at least. You ready to talk?
So we're gonna we could wait. We could follow up. No, we only have 2 hours. And she might be a heavy drinker. We could talk if you want.
I think a more direct route is necessary at this time.
Okay. I'll tell you this. She was not very social the last time I spoke with her. And I don't know how she'll react to being told that she might be a traitor.
He just kind of like grumbles and then gets up and starts walking towards her.
Okay. She will follow.
Okay. You can see she's very sort of huddled. You sit opposite. She looks up. She puts her head down, turns away from you. I'm not interested in company.
Hello, Ninarin. I don't know if you remember me. I was a few days ago. We spoke. Kind of. This is my friend Uramorn. He's kind of noticeable.
Ermorn crosses his arms in a defensive posture.
I told you I don't want company.
And what is it that you would want there? Ninarin, I believe your name is.
Well, most people that don't want company wish to be there. What is it that you want?
I think we just have a few questions. Ones that pertain to your dealings, I would say.
I can't imagine what questions you would have for me. I don't suppose I'm going to be able to stop. And she sort of looks up towards you. You see the sort of very sort of deadpan face. Already, not even begun.
What was that? I'm sorry. It's cutting out for me really bad.
Sorry. She just sort of looks up towards. She looks fed up with your line of question, and you've not been sort of asked a question already.
Okay.
See, she's very abrasive. The whisper.
Wasn't there? Didn't we find something more substantial just than Dodge mentioning that she scouted?
You guys
this?
did find a warning note. Is that what you?
Yeah, it was something that pertained to another human that was scouted, like giving them safe passage or something like that.
We found a letter, yeah. Warning.
I mean, Kay found it on Raycross,
Mm-hmm.
and she gave it to Shay. So,
Can I look at the bit? Does the note match her article of clothing? Like, does it look like it could have been ripped off?
You may make a investigation check.
Hmm.
As far as she can, it's difficult to say. She's very sort of she's pulled it around herself as soon as you guys came close. It's just difficult to get the sort of clothing per se.
Okay.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't quite like people that aren't upfront or tend to be deceptive. So I would like to make this short and direct as much as you would. I'm sure.
I'll be honest. I don't like people pry into other people's business when they ask to be alone.
Well, these matters pertain to something that needs to be spoken of.
Like I said, I don't think I'll be able to stop you from talking. And she sort of sits back, puts her legs up on the table, casually, takes a sip from her drink.
I looked at Uramorn, and like underneath the table, I'll kind of have the note of fabric, and I'll show him it. And I put it down on the table in her line of sight as well. And I just want to see if I can read her reaction to seeing the note.
Okay, yeah, you can make an insight check.
Could Uramorn also do it?
Uramorn, make a intimidation check.
Ooh.
Alright.
Are you both rolling at the same time, or?
Let Uramorn roll first, and we'll see if and she's not phased by you, so just...
Oh, get it, Shay!
I just want to say, what's her like instant reaction to seeing it?
Okay. When you put it on the table, you can see her eyes flick to it straight away. You see they widen slightly. And you see a slight essence of fear. Composure returns to her. What is that?
Oh, it's just this random little note I found on our journeys. Why? Why does it matter?
I don't know. You brought it to me.
I just put it on the table. You looked at it. I don't know.
Generally, when strangers sit at the table and put stuff on it, I would probably look at it.
But it's not my fault that you looked at my things. That's just very rude.
Is there a point to all this?
No, I'm not. I'd like a drink.
Mr. Muscle there, trying to do I don't know what, and you putting pieces of cloth on my table.
It's just Elias Dodge told us about you. He made you sound like a very helpful person within the town, and we thought we would come to suss you out. But
Elias Dodge is a fool and a thief. I wouldn't trust the man as far as I can throw it.
Either way, you're the only one that scouts that area besides him, correct?
She sort of stands up. What I scout is between me and Pedro. I don't really see what business it is of yours.
Well, there's just some questionable things like notes written in common for human folk, and you and Elias are the only human folk that go around there.
I kick Uramorn under the table, like, lightly.
He just looks over at you like, what?
I'm going to go to the bar for a drink. It was nice talking to you, Minorin.
I cannot say the same.
Killer, guys.
And she sort of sits back. If you're going to leave me in peace, be about it quickly, please.
I suppose we'll have to talk to Paydrag then, since you're not going to be more forthcoming.
Oh, I'm shaking in my boots.
He just kind of sniffles, grumbles, and walks away.
And as you sort of walk away, you can just hear about idiots. Is there anything else you would like to take care of?
I would just like to tell Uramorn how she reacted to when, I don't know if he noticed, but as we were at the bar, I'll just tell him that she seemed to react fearfully when I exposed the note, and just, I don't know, I didn't want to go to too far because she ran for it, you know? I think we should keep an eye on her.
I can certainly do that.
Yes.
And he'll go sit where he was sitting before, across from her.
Not right now. Okay. I guess that says.
You can both take inspiration.
Been so long.
Okay. Let's check in on Tara next.
Bound to go back.
You managed to eventually sort of catch up to Dodge. Sort of quick 20 sort of. Well, no, it probably wouldn't take very long at all to get
No.
You can see Dodge there. Just jumping off his horse. Pony.
So where are you going to now?
Nowhere right now. Just setting up camp and staying here until I find out whether y'all need me or not. And when you don't, then I'll move on and find a better horse.
You do need a better horse. So
what can I help you with?
well, you said to ask again once we got to town, but now we didn't get to town, but I still want to ask.
So ask.
Well, are we doing this?
Well, let's see. Neither one of us cleaned up in a week, but hell, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I need to.
As far as I'm gonna go with that one.
You guys need to whisper me some rolls.
No.
That's a fake romance scene. This is what I'm imagining.
Tara, I need you to whisper me a performance roll.
How do I whisper that? Do I have to, I probably have to
within
change
the
the
settings, yeah.
And Dodge, you're going to need a Constitution saving throw.
Dodge, you're gonna have to whisper me a animal handling check.
Wait, so you have to tell me where I have to change the settings?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
not in-
Bear me a second.
It's not in
Let's see
settings.
if I can find it.
It's in the settings of the character sheet. Is that right?
Yes. it should be.
Settings.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I've just put it on query for you, so it should be fine. Yeah, it's Jason, if you just go to the call and then up whisper to GM.
Yeah.
There you go.
So performance from Tara and animal Dodge.
So I set it to always whisper roll, so now it should whisper it to you, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah, that will do. Okay. And I'm gonna make a roll. Okay, cool. How do I describe this?
I don't.
Let's just say that you both have a very, very enjoyable time. Dodge is very sort of rough and sort of manhandles you a bit, Tara. You probably come out of it feeling a bit better than Dodge does. But you are not Dodge is not unsatisfied. And you fully copulate. And we will see what that brings down the road.
Okay.
Babies.
Wait, is she about to have a baby?
Constitution saving throw.
Well, that's a good idea. Yeah, we're
I mean,
swinging
yeah.
on save.
Yeah.
Make a con save on a one. She's pregnant, bitch.
Okay.
Ain't no
Please, for the
condoms
love of
back
God,
here.
roll a one. I'm so excited. Oh my God! Please be a
Okay.
one.
You're not allowed to know.
No. Damn it.
I know, though.
There are consequences.
Pregnant!
He's like a 15-year-old mother.
Pregnant. She's
Okay.
pregnant.
Oh my.
I have to keep that in mind. Okay, cool.
Whoa.
Let's swing back to
Screaming.
Sabina. Tara, you're probably going to be a little bit late.
For
Probably.
what?
For Lord Padraig. Oh, I see what you mean there.
Yeah, son.
God damn.
Okay, so Savina, you find yourself at the base of Valfrun's tower.
I knock on the door.
Who is it? What is it? What do you want? Oh, it's you.
Hi. I just came to return your sending stone.
I'm busy right now. Come back later.
He's jacking off.
Oh, okay. Does he have like a mail slot that I could like push it through?
No,
An
it's just
after-hour
a
drop.
solid wooden.
Is there like a
Every
window?
time you've gone through it, it's opened magically.
Is there like a window?
Nope.
Oh. Okay, I'll leave.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
He was like, fuck this.
No, I'll just probably go back to the inn.
Okay, cool. When you do eventually arrive back at the Shay, sort of at the bar, and Ramon just hands sort of crossed, staring at around a table. Is there anything you want to do when you're in the inn? Or?
I get a drink.
Okay. Karnaka,
Yes.
brings us turn to you.
I'm running as fast as my Gamulek will carry me.
You make your way into the sort of temple of Shantae. And as you do... Oh, Mrs. K, it's so nice to see you!
Oh God, I forgot you were here.
I miss you so much!
Hello, Erky.
Arky just sort of runs up to
Okay.
How have you been doing, Mrs. K?
Better now that I'm back here. Is Ashby around?
Yeah, he's in his room in the back. You want me to get him for...
No, I'll go see to him in his room.
Oh.
That's okay.
All right. Well, if you need anything, just give me a shout. I make a cracking cup of tea.
Oh my God, I forgot you were so annoying. Tea would be wonderful if you don't mind, Erky.
Come in right up, my love. You go and see your good pal Ashby. He's been doing wonderful things, helping the sister out so much. With the ceremonies, went round and helped out with all the farm steeds. Oh, he's been beautiful. He's a beautiful man, you know.
Kay has like the biggest smile on her face right now.
Really blessed by Shantae. That. Right, well, a lovely cup of tea coming up.
Thank you,
Sort of,
Erky.
They don't call me Erky the brewer for nothing. They don't actually call me that, but I'll still make a good damn cup of tea. You wait for it.
Thank you, Erky.
You just find your way through the door there on the left, and then he's on one of the, he's on the room,
Erky,
second on the right.
Erky, thank you.
You're welcome,
Fine.
Mrs. K.
I will
It's
see
good to
you in a
see you.
moment. You too, Erky. And Kay will go and find Ashby's room.
And what are you currently doing, Ashby?
Right now I'm just probably praying. Feeling incredibly stressed about those dreams, and so I'm trying to spend as much time in prayer as I can the last couple of days to get a sense of what they might mean.
Okay. How are you going to approach Kanaka?
Kay will... Is the door open or is it closed?
That's closed.
Kay will very gently rap on the door.
What? Yes, who is it?
It's your old friend.
My old friend who?
Your old friend Karnaka Montaneria Solagria Grace Drakensum. Ashby Blackseed. May I come in, please?
Ah, well, I suppose it has to be you. Nobody else would come up with such an absurd name.
You going to let me in?
Yes. Come in. And as soon as she gets
Kay
through
will
the
push her.
as soon as she gets through the threshold, because he has to open the door, obviously. As soon as she gets through that threshold, he just gives her a big little hug. Big because it's a big hug.
Big
little
little
because
hug.
he's a little man. So it's a big little hug.
Kay will get down onto one knee
Oh.
and just
No,
embrace
there's no
him.
need for that, dear.
No,
No, it's not that kind of relationship. You
Just
don't need to get
shut
down
up.
on your knee.
I'm just gonna squeeze him into me so his mouth stops talking. Just embrace it, okay? It's good to see you, Ashby. I missed you.
It's good to see you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I haven't been with you for whatever happened, but you seem to have come through okay, so it must not have been too bad.
I mean...
No, don't. Tell me about it later. I have a surprise for you. I have been working on it very diligently for the last several days, and I was going to wait to give it to you, but you know I'm lousy with gifts.
You are lousy with gifts, but I have a gift for you too.
I called dibs first.
What is it? Is it another one of those fancy contraptions, like you made last time?
For your leg? No, dear.
No.
This is something more personal. And Ash will go to his desk and...
Should I be worried?
No, not at all. Well, maybe a little bit. I don't know how it will react to your skin yet. These tieflings are weird.
Excellent.
And he pulls out a little bundle, and he just hands it over to you.
Kay takes it, looks at him curiously.
Okay, and when you open it up, it's now in the Discord chat. But you see just a little silver ring designed to look like a raven's feather. I spent a considerable amount of time. It's not my usual type of work, but I know
It's
you need
perfect.
something to remind you
Ashby.
a bit. Ma'am,
Ashby,
Ma'am.
it's perfect.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you like it.
Kay will put it on her finger.
And does it fit?
Yeah, it's a little bit tight, but maybe I could do with not drinking so much. Eh.
Couldn't we all, truthfully?
With the life that we lead, absolutely not.
Hmm.
But I have something for you. I didn't make it because I am not as talented as you, but
Obviously. I really don't deserve anything. I wasn't even there with you.
to be fair, Ashby, I don't even know if you can use it. I mean, the thing's like twice the size of me. Like, Kay will pull the mole off of her back and slam it right down next to him.
I was wondering why you had that on your back. I thought it was... I don't know.
It's fucking heavy.
I couldn't tell if you were being, someone else again and had some weird thing, but... I mean, I do like hammers. This one's rather large.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know if you can use it. I just thought that maybe Even if you can't use it, we
Well,
keep it for ourselves to put in our shop a few years down the line.
that's not a bad idea. Give me a minute. Let me look this over real quick. I've been working on this new device while I was here. It's a lens that helps me zoom in, get a closer look at something. And so I pull out my magnifying glass and I go over it, and because Ash doesn't know what it is, he'll cast identify on the mall.
It's the ball of warning.
This is a very, very great item. I mean, it's
There you go.
yeah, it's in the chat. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite something.
This is.
You should have seen the guy we took it off, Ash.
Ah, was that nice, huh?
It was quite the fight. I'm not gonna lie. There was something unlike something I've ever seen before underneath Crag Canyon.
Oh.
But
Perhaps you should tell me about it, because strange things have been happening here too, and I'm fairly certain if what you told me about your vision from the Raven Queen is true, that the nightmares that I've been having are connected. And it's not only me, Karnaka. Sister Minora's had them too. And I'm beginning to wonder that the entire town isn't having them. Everyone has seemed so dour of late.
there is something going on here. We may have stopped something small out there, but whatever is happening here, it needs to be taken care of. Look, I know the rest are back at Rafton's. If you are willing to come and have a drink with us, I'm sure we can tell you the whole story there. They'll remember details that I would have forgotten.
Indeed. It'll be good to see everyone. Oh, just 1 minute. I have one more package that I need to get from my bureau here, and then we'll be on our way. And I collect my other little bag and follow Karnaka. I actually haven't been to the tavern yet. You know, I haven't seen. I saw your friend Berwin.
Oh, how was that? He's magnificent, isn't he?
He is.
He's an acquired taste.
He's incredibly shady and involved in something that it makes me fearful. I can't be certain, but nobody else in town trusts him either. Everyone can't be wrong, can they? Well, they're wrong about you, but that's beside the point.
I'm actually planning on going to see him soon. We need to speak to Lord Padraig first, but Erwin is next on my list.
Well, then let's get together with everyone else and we'll see what we can see.
Okay, it's good to see you again, Ashby. And Kay gives him a kiss on the cheek. Come on.
Ash just turns a bright reddish color and says, "Alright, let's indeed be on our way."
Oh, those two.
I love you, baby.
You can both have inspiration.
It's not that kind of relationship, dear.
I know. But I love you. Thank you.
You're
Kay will
welcome.
walk in with Ashby in tow. So, look who I found.
Oh.
A little more enthusiasm, please.
Hello, Ash.
Hi, Shay.
She's a little bit
Yeah, I'll
reserved
talk to you.
after
I'll talk to you in a minute, Shay. Actually,
okay.
everyone, gather around.
Is Tara already there?
There's no way.
Probably
I was
not.
busy.
Where are we gathering?
Oh, sorry. Yes, come here. Find a table. I don't care where. Around the hearth. Around the hearth is a good place. This table. Hey, excuse me. Could we have this table, please? I have many guests here.
You see, as you sort of talk to these people, at first they didn't even sort of notice that you were there.
Yes, I'm short. Down here.
They don't really say anything, and they just sort of put their heads down and just move on. They look at you, sort of judgingly,
Yes,
and
yes.
then very sort of cautiously make their way back towards the other table.
Yes, there's an empty table back there, Ash, with actually more seats. But
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's further away from the fire, and
okay.
with what's been going on around here,
There are more.
the fire is desperately
Most
needed.
welcome.
The light is desperately needed. But first, and I walk over to Savina. Savina, my dear, I owe you the deepest of apologies. I still don't understand what you are doing, and a large part of me does not agree with it. But that is no way for me to treat anyone, let alone someone who has been through all of the things that we have so far been through together. And I know it isn't much, and an apology is probably itself not enough. But I made something for Karnaka earlier, and I also made something for you. And there is that. Sorry, I have to do.
Ashby sort of just digging around in his pockets at this time. Vanna at the bar. Now, isn't it good to see you again, Miss K? I can certainly get you a drink. Don't you worry about that. Now, I'll get a drink for all of you.
It's muchly appreciated.
Now, I understand that you were out to face off against these kobolds. May
We
I
were.
inquire as to how you did with that?
Well, we're here, aren't we?
And how about the kobolds? Would they be bothering our room for too extra business?
They shouldn't be bothering us too much at all.
In that case, Miss K, your drinks and your stay is on me forever.
Wow.
I cannot thank you enough for the things.
That is most gracious of you. Thank you very much, Salvana.
She's gonna
Gives you a
regret
wink.
that deal.
She gives you a wink, she's like, you're more. Now, don't take me for
She
a ride.
wants me.
Because I tell you, if you take me for a ride, I've got a heavy crossbow at the bottom of this bar, and I will punch you in the gut with that thing.
Darling, the only ride I would take you for you wouldn't be able to handle.
Now, darling, I can handle any ride. Now, you take a seat with your friends, and I'll bring over a drink.
Walk away.
Right. That was encouraging. Anyway, sorry. I finally found what I was looking for. And I pull out this bag and I give it to Savina, and if she opens it, that's what she'll find inside.
Hold on, I'm just reading it.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a manacle.
Well, that's for... I mean, Savina has a spell to figure that out if she wants to know.
I was gonna say, can I low key? Oh, I don't have it prepared. Never mind. I'll do it later.
Or you can ask. I mean, that's alright too, but...
I'm not sure how to take this. Well,
you can...
thank you, Ashby. I know that my intentions might be a bit hard to understand, but I'm at least glad that you can sort of forgive me.
Hi. It's a start. I understand, and it'll still be tenuous at best, but once you know what I've inscribed there, I think you'll understand. At least I hope you will. And I
And
give
she
her
gives
a
you
little
hug.
hug. Ah!
No!
Not a little big hug, just a little.
Just a
hug.
very no. This is a little hug. One of those side
Everyone's
arms.
hugging and I'm not there.
One of those little side
You're
arms.
hugging
We're
too.
not- You're doing a different
True.
type of hugging. Yes.
The vertical hugging,
Now then.
horizontal hugging.
Hey,
There you go.
it could be either one. Truthfully.
That's very true.
So please tell me all about your adventure. Was it fruitful?
It was certainly something.
We might have more information that it connected to Orcus. I'm whispering that, by the way. I'm not like publicly exclaiming Orcus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have things that we need to discuss with Padraig as well. I mean, we were sent there to kill what we assumed were going to be these fearsome kobolds ready to kill us at any chance they got. But we got there and there were actually families of kobolds there too that we weren't aware of at the time. But unfortunately, they got cut down in our path. And I think a few of us are feeling a bit remorseful for that.
Dear. This life is
And
not
then-
always what we hope it to be.
No. But then... And Kay looks to everyone. There was the ritual that we broke up as well.
A ritual, you say?
Yes.
I didn't know kobolds were much for rituals.
I believe they were being used as a source of power for this ritual. They were... Something was happening to them. They were entranced within this gigantic room, and there was a half-dragon man trying to what could only we could assume to bring back a dragon skeleton of sorts.
Oh,
There
dear.
was this giant glowing gem in the middle, and these 4 kids were having their very life essences sucked into it. I've no idea what the fuck was happening. It is far beyond my understanding of magic.
That's terrible. Were you able to save the children?
We brought all 4 of them back.
Oh, thanks Shantae for that. And Shay, you believe this to be something to do with you know who?
Yes, I believe it's connected. There was lots of iconography in the temple relating to you know who, and there was notes that reinforced our concerns that there is a spy within this town.
Oh dear. Do you have any ideas who that might be? I mean, I have my own opinions, but I haven't met very many people.
Well, Uramorn and we questioned Ninarin earlier on, and
Probably see Irma at this point. He's literally just got his back to you and is staring down Ninaran.
Alright there, big fella.
you can see where his suspicion lies heaviest.
You can't actually see her from where he is. She's in too much shadow.
I kind of I showed her the note that we found within the temple, and she had a reaction that seemed fearful. And then she got quite defensive afterwards. But I didn't want to push too hard in case she fled or something. I want to keep her feeling safe.
That does seem suspicious. I
Yes,
can tell you
because
that...
also she's an expert of where we were, and she wasn't
Oh dear.
helpful. Yes.
Oh.
And there was also this note as well. And Kay will pull out the letter from the letter to Irontooth from Calarel. The one that says, my spy in Winterhaven suggests we keep an eye out for visitors to the area. It probably doesn't matter. In a few more days, I'll completely open the rift. Then Winterhaven's people will serve as food for those Lord Orcus sends to do my bidding. And it's signed from Calarel as well.
Oh, not Calarel again. That's the same fellow that sent the letter to Belloc, right?
It is.
Oh,
Yes.
Dear. I can tell you that I have had horrific dreams of an elfin person in plate armor with a giant mace just dripping in blood, and the overwhelming sense of utter destruction. And to make matters worse, I'm not the only one who has been having this dream. Sister Lenora's been having it as well. And as I told you earlier, Kay, I think the entire town is experiencing some sort of communal omen. Some form of great curse has befallen this place.
If Pedrag did not believe Sister Lenora or myself back then, he certainly must now.
Oh, he already does. I've had a nice chat with him. He's a very lovely man.
Oh, you met him?
Oh, yes. Did I leave that part out? I
You
was
did.
just so happy to see you there. No, yes, I've met Lord Padraig. He's perfectly pleasant and seems genuinely concerned.
Well,
you know,
we are
initially-
meeting him in what? We are meeting him soon. You should come along with us.
Oh, gladly. I have some things to report to him as well about my research with the blacksmith and with Berwyn.
And I think at this point, Tara probably rushes through the indoor. She's very sort of flushed. She's very happy, I should imagine.
Oh dear.
Hello, Tara. Did you meet up with your friend?
Friend? Nina, you're muted.
Okay.
I don't know if you're talking or not.
Kay leans down to Ash and says the half elf that we went on the scout with.
Oh, your guide, yes.
I caught
Yes.
up with him, yes.
That's good.
Yes, that is good.
Yes.
That's pleasant, yeah. It's nice for people to say goodbye to friends. You know, but sometimes it's good to keep friends in touch.
Shay, with your perception, you can probably see that Tara's clothes appear to be ripped underneath her armor.
She's just smiling.
Oh, you seem very happy, Shay.
It's just, we're all together again. It feels like old times.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Forbidding evil thing coming to get us.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Great.
Maybe we should get ready to go see Lord Pidrak then, if we're all here.
How much time do we have left before our meeting?
You had about 5 minutes when Tara rushed into the.
We've only got 5 minutes. We need to run.
Okay,
then we need to
let's
hurry.
get going.
Okay.
Aaron's still having issues.
I know. So bad timing.
Sad.
Because
No.
he's usually back on by now if he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, he's typing. He's typing.
Is it?
Ugh.
I don't see him typing.
He was typing.
I saw it.
There it is again.
There it is. There it is.
I don't
there
see
it is.
nothing!
In
No, he's back.
roll
He's back
20.
in.
Oh, is he typing in the roll 20? I see. So
Yeah.
I thought you meant Discord chat. I'm not crazy.
Whenever
Okay.
someone says, "You know who now," I'm just gonna think Voldemort.
Yeah,
I
you have to,
thought
but
exactly.
we don't know where the cultists are.
It's
Mhm.
true.
So you guys make your way out of the inn, make your way through up to the mansion house with sturdy walls and a pitched wooden roof, and its sort of bell tower at the back. You can see that the sign that used to mention Cabal's of Crag Canyon, that notice has now been taken down. As you make your way up the stairs and towards the door, a sort of guard expecting you, and lead you into sort of main hall area where you spoke to Lord Predrag earlier. You can see Ron Kaufman is sort of stood to the side there. Gives you all a sort of hefty sort of stare as you come into the room. Well, I see you have all returned. I am glad to see you, and from what Ron has told me, you bring me good news. Please be seated upon the bench in front of you. And
Tara will wrap her coat around her so she's not showing her ripped clothes.
Oh,
Yay!
Yes!
Yo!
Hey!
Hey!
hello,
Yeah.
we have just arrived into Lord Predrag's quarters. He has requested that you sit down on the bench in front of him so that you can inform him of what has become of the kobolds and any update. I see you have joined us, Ash. Perhaps you two have an update for me as well about the assignment that I have managed to put you on to.
Indeed.
Please speak freely and honestly. You will not be judged for what you say here.
Well, your bad guy is a dick.
Tara.
He
Okay.
didn't let Elias into town.
Ron Kelfman
Yes.
voices the law in this village, and he speaks with my voice. When you call him a dick,
Well, you said I wouldn't be judged.
are you calling me a dick, Miss Tara?
don't call him a dick, Tara.
Tara.
Not. Well, I didn't mean to call you anything. I just don't like the bad guy.
And I don't like it when people are disrespectful about the members of my staff. Please bear that in mind for the future.
So this has started out well, but before
That's
we
okay.
get
I told you to speak candidly,
before we get
but
to
I will also warn you. Sorry, Ashby.
no, go
Please,
ahead, warn
continue.
away.
I think the message has gotten through.
All right, but before we start, sir, how have you been sleeping?
That is an odd question to start with.
It is a very odd question, but you know me, I'm quite odd.
Very well. I have been having nightmares of late. I have had dreams of a demonic horde and undead coming together and sweeping across this land.
Huh. In that you're not alone, and I think my friends here have some insight into something terrible.
And like I said, I am all ears, and I'm willing to hear. And you are right, I am not alone with these nightmares. My family have been suffering, and Ron Kaufman has been suffering as well. Hence why he probably seems to be a little bit more agitated than normal. In fact, the whole village is to be agitated at this time.
That's understandable. Isn't
I
that
do not
right,
want to bring more
Tara?
fear onto them. The mention of this cult. We need to get this problem sorted as quickly as possible, so any information that you hand over will be extremely valuable.
Well, we can confirm that within Winterhaven that there's a spy. There's a note that confirms it.
Kay will pull out Calarel's note to Irontooth.
You see as he gestures towards the steward to collect the note, you see this. It takes a couple of minutes for us to study it. This is indeed grave news. It appears that the threat of this cult is very large, and a rift to the Shadowfell. Maybe that is a premonition in my dreams, and an army of undead and demons wait on the other side. This is very bad news indeed, if this is the case. This worries me greatly. As Ashby knows, I know of at least 20 people that have gone missing from the villages recently.
Really?
I dare to think what may have happened to them. What else have you found? You mentioned a spy. Have you any evidence of who this may be?
At the
Well-
moment, we're still unsure, but there's a few faces around town that have raised suspicions with some of us.
I've asked you to speak openly. Please feel free to inform me of what you think. Like I said to Ashby before, my eyes may be clouded by the judgment that I already have of my people.
Kanako, when you say Berwin, you're the one who spoke to him the most so far.
I have no solid evidence on Berwin, apart from the fact that he speaks my native language. I am yet to arrange another meeting with him, but he seems very interested in my kind and where my heritage comes from.
I'd say he's more than interested in that, dear.
Can't really blame him, but I am yet to get anything a little more solid from him. I would probably like to go see him after this meeting.
If you do, okay, would you... He has done some sort of expansion beneath the shop, and the blacksmith finds it very odd that he would even have the means to do so. And he wouldn't let me anywhere near there. Did you know that he had done this? Have you had the opportunity to try to get down there?
I have not. I've spoken to him twice, but
I am aware that Berwin has been making expansions to his storage in his basement.
But has anyone seen them?
I have had no reason not to trust Berwin. And you have given me no evidence. You say you were speaking to Fire Colston. It is well known within the village that Fire has a hatred for Berwin. Their rivalry goes back to the minute that Berwin stood foot upon this village. And as for his ability to speak Abyssal, this is also well known. Berwin travelled far and wide. In his time before he came here, he is certainly a strange and eclectic man. But that does not necessarily mean that he is the head of a cult. He has lived in this village for years now, and has brought much money to me in taxes.
I don't mean to be rude here, but you've seen the dream. You've read the letter. At this point, you have to distrust everyone. You have to investigate everything. If not, you are doing your people a disservice.
And that's what I was going to say. I would very much be happy to look into him further. I just wanted to make it clear that you will need to come with me with hard evidence and not speculation.
Ermorn rolls his eyes at
that.
Now you mentioned that there was someone else curious about. Yes, Miss Shea, please go on.
There's still no concrete evidence, but we believe the scout Ninarin is potentially someone of notice. We showed her one of the notes that we found within the caves, and she reacted with fear.
Do you have this note on you that I
Yes,
could
I
see,
do.
perhaps?
Yes, it appears to be written on clothing. I tried to see if maybe it matched her clothing, but I couldn't get a good look.
And he sort of steps down from his sort of higher dais and sort of steps towards you and takes a note from you. It is true that Ninaran is the scout for Crag Canyon. There can be no harm in seeing whether this fabric. If you are willing, I will send you with 2 of my guards to see whether she will, under my orders, to show you her clothing so that you may inspect it on my behalf.
My only concern is if she might see that as an opportunity to flee, and then we'll have no way of knowing for sure if she is the spy.
That's why I sent 2 of my guards with you. Between the 6 of you and my 2 guards, I'm sure you can handle Ninaran. Don't get me wrong. She is a skilled scout, and she is certainly able of killing, but I don't imagine she would be capable of taking on 8 men and a woman.
We tried speaking with her. All
And she
does
wasn't
is
very
wait.
responsive, I should imagine. She certainly likes to keep to herself.
That the only way she would speak of her scouting missions if it came from you yourself. I think it's quite curious that she's the scout and didn't realize that all of those children were within those cave networks, or the overabundance of kobolds before they overran your little pathways.
And I agree. This is why I wish for you to go and confront her. You are confronting her with my voice. If any trouble does happen, I will ensure that Ron Kelpman is on the gate, and one of the guards can go and fetch him to help you in your needs. Now, is there anything else that you've come to give me?
Do we?
Not that I can think of, no. But the addition of Ashby's name upon the adventuring charter ship, if you don't mind, Lord Pedrag.
Wait, what? There's a charter ship?
There's a charter ship we paid.
Cormyr has restrictions on everything. Did you know that I can't even work on any weapons because I don't have some sort of license?
This is what helps us to keep the land civilized within Cormyr. We control what weapons are created and made. And by that, we can try and cut down the amount that go for freeloaders and bandits.
I see. So now
We'll be more than willing to purchase a license to practice, although it has a cost of 1,000 gold pieces.
I think that I understand now how you were able to build such a very nice place here. Because there is
You
no
misunderstand.
bloody
These payments
way
do go to-
that I will ever pay 1,000 gold just to be able to work on a weapon. What are you out
That's
of
what
your
I like to
mind?
work for a year. These are the laws of Cormyr. It is not me that put them in place. It is not my pockets. They fill.
Sure. Right, okay.
Now, with the dreams that we have been experiencing, I have set Valfroon to study. It may be worthwhile impeaching on him and see if he has learned anything.
Could I ask, have the dreams appeared outside of the town? Or has it only been within the town's borders?
I have not been able to place their location. Everything has been fuzzy and shadowy and hazy. I merely find myself overrun by demons and undead, trampling my body beneath me. It is disturbing, and I wish not to think about it too long.
I suppose we'll find out whether it affects us who have just come back to town.
Yeah.
If we plan on
Yeah.
staying here, that is.
3 rooms.
It's true.
But yes, we never experienced any dreams on our travels back, so I'm just wondering what the range of the effects were.
Well, you
Well,
said
we'll
your
find out
friend-
soon.
And you said your friend Dodge is still out of town, right? I mean, you could ride out and ask him in the morning if he had any bad dreams as well.
That's a good point.
Maybe we can send Tara to do that.
Not a problem.
I'm sure it's not.
Aside from that, the mission was a success. We destroyed the kobolds, and we don't think there'll be a problem anytime in the future.
This is good to hear. And in which case, you will be rewarded with 300 gold pieces, and I will certainly put Ashby's name upon the charter ship.
Oh.
He sort of steps down from his dais, towards you, asks for the sort of charter ship from you, Shay. I think you can still have it.
Maybe?
Yes.
One of us have it.
He will take it from
Yeah, I think you're gonna
Okay.
share.
He will
Okay.
take it from you, and he will add Ashby's name to it. Now, I'm asking a lot of you. When you are ready to chase Nineveh up, let me know, and I will provide you with 2 guards. If I could also ask you to explore the outlying farmlands, See if we can find any evidence to suggest what may have taken our villagers from them. It would be greatly appreciated. As you know, my man force is very low, and I do not have the power to send men on these goose chases, particularly with such a threat lying over the village.
Well, so while we're on payment, did your wife get around to making me a dress?
I don't believe she has started yet. Did she take measurements from you? I forget.
Yes, she did.
Well then, I shall have her make it for you straight away. Is there any particular color? Well,
I don't know. Okay, what would suit me?
What color are your eyes, darling?
Green.
Green.
I think a nice red might look nice on her.
No, red
Oh.
won't be her color. Let's go for a nice... You know what? What color were Dodge's eyes? They were forest green, were they not?
Ooh.
Let's go for forest green. I think green on green works very nicely.
I want to say Dodge's eyes are blue, but I'm right now. No, they're brown. I'm not sure. Right now.
Oh, brown dress? Mm.
Where was the
I
picture?
think green would look beautiful on you, Tara.
I tell you what, why don't you think about it? You know where I live.
No, if Kay says green, we're gonna go green.
Very well. I shall inform my wife. We shall have a green dress ready for you in 48 hours.
Jason confirms the over.
Now, I will leave you to your business. Will you be confronting Ninaran soon? Or shall I wait before I send my guards with you?
I mean, maybe just have them hover around Rafton's Inn for the time being.
Yes,
Very
Just
well.
tell them to keep an eye out for us.
I shall
Yes,
post
we
2 guards
have
there at all
them.
times.
Don't make her nervous. And if she leaves, maybe have one of them follow her, or can I keep an eye on her? I don't know.
We would not be able to keep an eye on Ninaran.
Okay, we'll just have them tell us if she leaves, I suppose.
Very well.
It'll be either tonight or tomorrow we'll confront her.
Well then, I shall leave you to it. You know what I have asked of you. If you need anything, by all means, come and ask of me again. And thank you for your assistance in this matter. It is greatly appreciated. I have underestimated the threat that potentially faces us here. And any help that we can get is much needed. Thank you all. Be about it. And he sort of gestures for you to leave.
Goodbye.
Kay gets up and leaves.
I feel like when he speaks, I should give an applause at the end. He's so charismatic.
He's certainly something.
You guys begin to leave Lord Padrax's mind and Vermon.
Hmm?
As you step outside, you step into a blizzard,
Oh.
Oh.
and you see yourself surrounded by a forest. Ahead of you is a rocky path that seems to lead to a snow-topped hillside.
Do I recognize such place, or is this unfamiliar to me?
This is unfamiliar to you.
He'll look around, quite confused. Shay? Ash? Hello? And then just start like stumbling forward, kind of looking for any indication of his friends.
And eventually you find yourself at the bottom of the snowy side. What looks to be a stone staircase carved up the side of this summit.
He'll look up to where it ascends to and just kind of like in the back of his mind think like what's going on. He's legitimately confused, but he sees no other pathway, so he'll start walking up, kind of shouting for his friends along the way.
Mm.
And as you sort of shout, the only response you get is the howling Arctic wind that rushes around you, builds up and grows stronger as you begin to make your way up the stairs, these rocky stones. Make an athletics check for me. Okay, yeah, cool.
Nice.
You manage to sort of force your way through eventually. And on top of the summit, you see what appears to be a elemental of some sort. It seems to be a fluid water figure covered in sort of dark black sort of plate mail, holding a triton in one of its hands.
I imagine the wind is quite powerful up here, so he's like kind of covering his eyes from the snow hitting, and he'll shout out towards the elemental and primordial. What is the meaning of this? Where are all my friends? Why have you brought me here?
And you see, as it replies, it's sort of like, Hermon, you have been called forth. We have need of your strength and your power.
With all due respect, Elemental, I've been doing your services down in Cormia, protecting the natural balance of things. I'm doing what you've asked. What do you mean you have call for me?
Your brother needs to be dealt with. He has gained a power that he intends to use to crush your clan and crush the world if we allow it. He has become known as the Frost Lord, and he has ventured into a demi-plane and created a bastion of ice and snow where he resides, halfway between the Feywild and the material world.
You see him like just kind of stunned for a bit, as his brother was never like a true threat to him. He was always kind of weaker. You say the world is in danger from him. My friends, they need me. Is there not another?
No. We have bestowed powers upon you. Powers that you refuse to use. You need to learn. That was the point of this debt in the first place. You are scared of your rage, and we mean to see it meet its match. Your brother is the one to bring it out. This journey is for you as much as it is for us. Your friends will have to cope without you.
Ermorn looks back down towards like the bottom of the mountain, like where he would envision his friends being. I assume I have no choice in the matter.
And as you say that, the elemental moves up towards you, and you see as his trident's covered with frost, slams it, take 9 piercing damage, and you take an extra 8 frost damage as well.
Ouch! Why?
Ermorn will clutch his chest and then raise his hand. I will do as you ask. I have but one favor. Please heed my... He'll pull out Shatter Spike and drive it into the ground before him. I have many talents to deal with my brother, but I don't want to leave my friends with nothing. Please show that they get this. Understand that I haven't abandoned them.
I don't know what I'd do if they felt I betrayed them. Please, I'm doing as you ask. If you can grant me this one favor, there will be no more struggle from me.
You see as he steps back slightly. And you can see as he appears to be taking a moment to himself. I've convened with my masters. And we will do this for you. But for us, give in to the rage. Give in to the primal ferocity. Surges from your body. You can be so much more. There was a reason we chose to take your offer instead of forcing you to fight. It's because you have true ferocity within you. We intend to see it because we believe you can use it for the betterment of this world.
He's like down on a knee and kind of bows a bit to the elemental before standing up.
My journey alongside Shay has taught me many things. I've seen my kind and ancestors to that of the same ilk be consumed with a rage that you ask me to tap into now. But with Shay's travels, I've learned it doesn't always have to be evil. And I think you're right. I can use it.
And you'll see like the frost start to permeate from his body and his eyes flicker to that like rage style form.
Take me to see my brother. I will take care of this business.
You'll find yourself close to the spine of the world. That is where you will find the rift of the demiplane. Go to Neverwinter. There you will be able to find help. And take your revenge upon your brother. And one day, once that is done, perhaps we can return you to your friend.
He'll look down towards the bottom of the mountain and just kind of like whisper, "I'm sorry, Shay. Be safe." And then
as
he'll
you
start
turn back,
walking.
if you turn back, you'll notice that the element is gone and Shadow Spike is gone.
All right, cool.
For the rest of you, as you walk out of Pajak's mansion, a sort of flurry of blizzard just engulfs you. And as it passes, Ramon is no longer with you, and Shatter Spike clangs to the ground in front of you.
What the fuck was that?
Ramon?
Wait, is that the same thing you did, Kay? When you vanished?
I mean, it's similar, but I don't think Yormon's got anything to do with what happened to me. I don't think.
I'd suggest it's Orcus, but the snow doesn't seem very much
Threatening.
much like something that he would use.
Shay, has Yormon ever done this before, as long as you've been with him?
Oh. He's never vanished like that. Not without his sword.
And you feel a sort of cold drift. That's where just radiate towards you within the drift.
What did you say I missed?
Me too. What did I say?
Yes, can you repeat
Oh,
that?
right, yes. So I was just saying a sort of cold drift just comes by and brings you Erwan's last words on the wind.
What were his last words again?
Only you can hear them, Shay.
Oh.
What were your last words again?
I'm sorry, Shay. Oh my god, guys, come on!
He said he was sorry, Shay, and to be safe.
My heart is breaking.
Ramon. I hope you find what you're looking for and you come back to us one day. And she'll kind of pick up his sword. Uramon's doing what he has to do. And he expects us to do what we have to do. I'll miss him, but we can't let this affect us.
How long will he be gone for?
I don't know. As long as he needs to be gone, I suppose.
Will he be back?
I hope.
And that's where we're end today.